Both a press conference and an emergency meeting were called for by the Kanien'keháka Cultural Center recently this week in regards to a proposed project and feasibility study going on near the Survival School for a new multi-purpose building. KTV spoke to those involved in the project and why these meetings needed to take place.
In essence, we had to get the right information out there. There's a lot of misinformation about the feasibility study, about our project, the multi-purpose building that we're proposing. There's a lot of misleading information out there, so we wanted to give a presentation that presented the community with the facts, the correct facts about our project.
It is very important for us to have a cultural center, to have a new building. We're living presently in a condemned building, working in a condemned building. There's not much life left to this building. We had an inspection done 4 years ago, that told us that this building had 5 years of life. So we presently have 1 year left.
I think the meeting went very well last night. Our project team had an opportunity to provide a presentation and clarify a lot of the misconceptions that are happening on this project during this feasibility stage. And, we had good discussions back and forth with the community.
I believe there was a great turnout. Now I'll go to everybody who came out last night to hear us out. This is not the first time the project has been presented in the community. Just want to make that clear. But it was great to see. I'm not sure how many people were there, but the nights was pretty packed. We got our information out. I believe a lot of people heard us. I believe some, are staying strong to their position. But we did the best that we could.
I think everybody supports the project of building the building somewhere. I think there was a lot of back and forth about, in actuality, what I think we came out with was some of the people that are protesting the usage of that particular site. They're protesting it for the same reasons that the Cultural Center and Theater would like to be out there, to be able to preserve it and bring life to the area and beautify it.
We did explain to the community last night that we are under a very tight deadline. This is not a project that started last week or a month ago. It's been almost 3 years in the making. So we are under a very tight deadline. We communicated that last night, the reasons for it. This is just to complete the feasibility study, which would bring us to submit our proposal on time for the funding, and there's next steps after that. So that's what we want. We need to maybe convene again. I don't have details. Right now we're just kind of coming off of last night's meeting. So we need to, come back and ensure we can find a peaceful, positive resolution to this.
We're just here to present some facts in regard to our new building project that we've been working on. It is very important for us to have a cultural center, to have a new building. We're living presently in a condemned building, working in a condemned building. There's not much life left to this building. We had an inspection done 4 years ago, that told us that this building had 5 years of life. So we presently have 1 year left. There's been a lot of work that's been done. Proposals done, meetings that have been done. We actually sat down with representatives from the federal and the provincial government who also recognize, that a building is needed, and that's where the feasibility study came into play. It was a must that we had to carry out this study to ensure that the area is feasible, and in order for us to continue forward to submit proposals to obtain and be successful in getting money in order to build the building. This was a must that the feasibility study had to be done. At no time were any community dollars put into that feasibility study. As I said, the Aboriginal Initiatives Fund and Canada Heritage split the cost 50-50 for the cost of this feasibility study, and they supported the study. In August of 2017, the company Evoke was hired to carry out the feasibility study, and at that time a press release was sent out throughout the community. The study was to determine if the ground was in fact good and able to have a building put on it. We weren't going there to put a building on it. It's a study, it's part of our feasibility study. There were trees that were marked off, with fluorescent marker, not marker, but tape. Those trees were marked off because it's part of the tree survey, which is part of the study that was to take place. At no time were those trees marked off to be cut down. Brush was to be cut, and that was told that some brush, at the beginning would be cut in order to get in to do the boreholes, to do the study. We had a picture of a map of the land where the boreholes, the 13 boreholes would be picked, would be dug, and environment had helped to create a path, to draw out a path that the technicians would follow that would create the least environmental impact. People are worried that we were going there yesterday and this week and we're cutting down trees. That's simply not the truth. The proposed site or size that we would need for a building of this size that would house the cultural center, museum, and theater is approximately 47,000 square feet. So I just wanted to give that information. The designs that have been developed, and they're all conceptions, they're not written in stone, but we actually were even looking at building up, to use as less land space or area of space as possible. The vision is that the cultural center will be in there, the theater will be in there, the museum, which is part of the cultural center. We also had, through consultation, requests and space in the proposed building to house the Kahnawake Powwow Committee as well as the Kahnawake Welcome Center. If this study is not completed and we're not able to fulfill the feasibility study to meet the deadline of the feasibility study, there is a very high possibility that this project will be dead in the water. My hope is that we can get this study completed, that we can meet the deadline of the feasibility study, and then the next step would be for us to start putting out proposals out there to try to obtain the funding to be able to build this building. We have grand visions for that building that would offer us the room to be able to do what we need to do, but also to do the things that we've wanted to do.